You wake up, the alarm sounds the same, the light filtering through your window looks the same. You go through the motions, the coffee, the shower, the screen, and as the day begins, a familiar heavy feeling settles in your chest. It's the feeling of running in place. Your goals, your dreams, that vision of a different life. They feel like a distant shore you're swimming towards, but the current is impossibly strong, pulling you back to where you started. You're putting in the effort, you're trying, but nothing fundamentally changes. Do you realize? The scenery of your life is stuck on a loop. Let me tell you something first. That feeling of frustration, of being trapped, is not a sign of weakness or laziness. It's not a character flaw. It is a real, valid signal from the deepest part of your being. It's the quiet alarm of the soul, telling you that a profound internal battle is being waged, just beneath the surface of your awareness. It's not your fault that you feel this way. Today, we are not going to talk about productivity hacks or surface-level motivation. We are going deep into the machinery of the human psyche. We will uncover the 3 crucial signs that your own unconscious mind is sabotaging your progress. And more importantly, I will reveal a powerful technique drawn from the work of Carl Jung to begin a conversation with this hidden part of yourself, to turn your greatest obstacle into your most powerful ally. This feeling of pushing against an invisible wall has a name. Jungian psychology refers to this phenomenon as unconscious resistance, often driven by what are called complexes. Here is what nobody tells you. Your conscious mind, the part of you that's listening to this right now, is only the tip of the iceberg. Below the surface lies the vast, powerful unconscious, filled with autonomous energies, repressed memories, and deep-seated beliefs. These are the complexes. Think with me. Imagine your conscious mind as the captain of a great ship. You stand on the bridge, charts in hand, setting a clear course for the island of a better life. You command the ship to turn, but deep in the engine room, a hidden crew, your complexes, holds ancient, conflicting maps. This crew is terrified of the open ocean, of new destinations. They are comfortable with the old, familiar port, even if that port is a miserable place. So every time you turn the wheel, they secretly turn it back. You feel the ship straining, you burn immense fuel, but you go nowhere. That is your life right now, a battle for the rudder of your own soul. Modern society makes this worse. It screams at you to hustle, to manifest, to constantly become better, faster, stronger, but it never teaches you how to negotiate with the powerful, hidden crew below deck. So the inner conflict rages, and the only thing you feel is exhaustion and stagnation. But how do you know this is what's happening? It starts with the first, most common sign. Sign number 1, the tomorrow syndrome. This isn't just normal procrastination. You are perfectly capable of being productive. You answer emails, you clean your apartment, you organize your files, you handle all the small, urgent tasks of daily life. But when it comes to the one thing that could truly change your trajectory, writing the first page of your book, making the business plan, having that difficult conversation, a sudden, overwhelming wave of fatigue hits you, or a million other important tasks magically appear. You tell yourself, I'll be more inspired tomorrow, or I just need to get this other small thing done first. But tomorrow never comes. It's like owning a high-performance car, but every time you try to drive it towards your dream destination, the engine mysteriously floods or the tires go flat. The car works perfectly for grocery runs, but refuses to take you on the journey that matters. From a Jungian perspective, this is your unconscious creating a diversion. Your goal represents a profound change, a death of the old self. This terrifies the complexes that define your current identity. They fear failure, but they also fear success. What if you succeed and have to become this new person with new responsibilities? To protect the status quo, the unconscious hijacks your willpower, draining your energy and manufacturing distractions. It's a defense mechanism. The consequence of ignoring this sign is a life filled with beautifully organized yet meaningless days. The chasm between the person you are and the person you could have been widens until it becomes a source of deep, gnawing regret. But the resistance isn't always passive. Sometimes it is terrifyingly active. This brings us to the second sign. Sign number 2. The loop of self-sabotage. Think about it. You finally start making real progress. You've been saving money diligently for months. You've been consistent at the gym and the weight is coming off. You're in a healthy, loving relationship that feels good. Things are finally looking up. And then, out of nowhere, you act like a different person. You make a massive, reckless impulse purchase that wipes out your savings. You go on a weekend-long binge of junk food, undoing weeks of progress. You pick a devastating, unnecessary fight with your partner over something trivial. It feels like you've been possessed. Do you know what the worst part is? As you're doing it, a part of you is screaming, "Stop, what are you doing?" But you can't. It's like being a passenger in your own body. This is like meticulously building a magnificent sandcastle, pouring your heart into every detail, only to be seized by an uncontrollable urge to stomp on it the moment it's complete. This is your shadow, in plain sight. The shadow, in Jung's terms, is the repository of everything you have repressed about yourself. Your insecurities, your perceived weaknesses, your feelings of unworthiness. When your conscious self, your ego, flies too high and gets too close to a new, brighter identity, the shadow erupts to restore a twisted kind of balance. It pulls you back down to the familiar baseline. Its silent message is, success is not for us. Happiness is not who we are. Let's go back to the familiar misery we know how to survive. If this pattern continues, you will develop a deep and painful mistrust of yourself. You'll stop trying to build anything beautiful because you've learned to expect your own inevitable betrayal. This internal war, this constant building and destroying takes a colossal amount of energy, which leads us directly to the third and most insidious sign. Sign number 3, the unexplained exhaustion. You sleep for 8, even 9 hours. Your diet is clean. You haven't done any strenuous physical activity. Yet you wake up feeling a profound, soul-deep weariness. It's not sleepiness. It's a psychic drain. Your creative spark is gone. Your motivation is a flat line. The world seems to be drained of its color, and just getting through the day feels like a monumental chore. It's like plugging your phone in to charge all night, only to wake up and see it's at 1% battery. An invisible application is running in the background, consuming all the power. That invisible application is your inner conflict. Jung viewed the psyche as a self-regulating energy system. When your conscious will, I want to change and grow, is in direct opposition to the unconscious resistance, I want to stay safe and the same. It creates a state of perpetual internal friction. This psychic civil war is phenomenally draining. You are not tired because of what you are doing in the external world. You are exhausted because of the war you are fighting within it. The ultimate consequence is that burnout becomes your default state of being. Life is no longer a journey to be experienced, but a gray task to be endured. Your vitality, your very life force, is being consumed by a battle you don't even know you're fighting. So, you see the signs. You feel the resistance. What can you do right now, today, to move from a state of war to a state of dialogue? You can't crush this resistance with force. You've been trying that, and it only makes it stronger. The solution is to listen. I want to share a powerful practical technique, a form of what Jung called active imagination. I call it the unsent letter technique. First, find a time and place where you will not be disturbed for at least 20 minutes. Take a pen and paper. At the top of the page, address a letter to the part of me that resists. Address it as if it were a real, separate person living inside you. Second, from your normal, conscious perspective, write to it. Pour out your frustrations. Be brutally honest. Ask it questions. Why do you hold me back? Why do you make me sabotage myself? What are you so afraid of? What do you want for us? Don't hold back. Express your anger, your sadness, your confusion. Third, and this is the most critical step, put your pen in your non-dominant hand, or simply decide to switch roles. On a new sheet of paper, write the reply. Let the resistance speak. Don't think, don't judge, don't censor. Let whatever words, feelings, or images that come to mind flow onto the page. You may be shocked by what it says. It might sound like a scared child. If you succeed, you'll leave everyone behind and be alone. It might sound like a cynical protector. I'm saving you from the humiliation of failure. Or it might reveal a desire you weren't even aware of. Fourth, continue this dialogue. Write back and forth. You are not looking for a solution in one sitting. You are opening a channel of communication that has been closed for years. You are turning an unconscious monster into a conscious collaborator. Now, a warning. This will not be easy. The voice of your resistance may be ugly, irrational, or painful to hear. Here is what nobody tells you. This part of you is not your enemy. It is an outdated guardian, a frightened aspect of your own psyche trying to protect you with old broken tools. The goal is not to destroy it. The goal is to listen, to understand, and to integrate it. We've journeyed from the familiar feeling of being stuck to identifying the 3 signs of unconscious resistance: chronic procrastination, self-sabotage, and psychic exhaustion. We've seen that these aren't flaws, but messages from a deeper part of you. The unsent letter technique is not a magic pill, but it is the first step in a peace negotiation with your own psyche. Real change isn't about forcing your will upon the unruly parts of yourself. It is the difficult, courageous work of becoming whole. It's about turning your greatest inner opponent into your wisest inner counsel. And now I have a question for you. Without judgment, what is the one meaningful thing you've been putting off until tomorrow? Acknowledge it in the comments below. Let's bring it out of the shadows and into the light. And if this journey resonated with the depths of your own experience, subscribe to this channel, and let's continue to explore the map of the human soul together.